If I could go back and start learning Fortnite from scratch, I wouldn't waste my time with things that don't actually matter. I wouldn't chase flashy clips or spend 10 hours a day in creative, aimlessly cranking for no reason. Instead, I'd follow a structured, purpose-driven path, a method that builds real improvement from the ground up. This video is that roadmap. Whether you're a beginner or stuck at mid-tier ranks, I'll show you exactly how I would master Fortnite all over again. Faster, smarter, and with way fewer setbacks. And no, this isn't about quick tips or one-size-fits-all advice. This is a full breakdown of how to actually get good. The first thing I would do is forget about clips. I wouldn't open Twitter and get baited by highlight reels or flashy box fight montages. The truth is, those moments come way later. When you're first starting out, it's not about being flashy, it's about being reliable. The absolute core of Fortnite revolves around fundamentals: consistent crosshair placement, muscle memory for building and editing, and comfort under pressure. You need to be able to execute a peanut butter peek or an edit into a right-handed shot without thinking about it. If you hesitate in those moments, you'll lose every time. I'd start with 20 to 30 minutes of creative every day, focusing on repetition, not just free building randomly, but focused drills, replacing walls and editing cones into ramps, timing edit resets, practicing single box fights where I condition my opponent and take control fast. At the start, I'd do this slowly, making sure I was using my movement and aim the right way. I wouldn't even care about speed, just clean, precise movement, because clean always becomes fast with repetition. And once those basics are second nature, I'd layer in pressure, taking real fights with those mechanics, learning how they hold up under stress. And if I had to relearn aim in Fortnite, I'd completely shift how I think about it. Aim isn't about being twitchy or flashy, it's about being controlled and predictable. In Fortnite, aim is a mix of micro adjustments and tracking. You're rarely just flicking like in Valorant or Apex. Most of the time you're tracking a moving target in box fights or trying to line up a precise shotgun shot with minimal error. I'd break down aim into parts, first tracking drills like SMG spray transfers or following jumping jittering targets in creative maps. Then I'd isolate shotgun aim, and not just flicking but landing controlled first shots and quick second shots. I'd set up 1v1 aim duels that simulate in-game conditions, jumping into boxes, corner peeks, and low ground angles. Practicing flicks to the body with micro corrections after each shot builds muscle memory and minimizes panic. And I'd focus on being relaxed during fights, gripping my mouse lighter, breathing out during edits, and making my movements intentional. Over time, I'd develop consistency through repetition. That way, when the pressure hits in a real match, my body knows what to do. The more I study top Fortnite players, the more I realize how important movement is. Not just mantling or sprinting, but real movement control. How you position yourself during peaks, how you dodge shots in box fights, and how you rotate around builds mid-fight. If I had to start over, I'd treat movement like a main mechanic just like building or aiming. I'd drill shoulder peek movement, which is using the right side of your body to peek and shoot, minimizing your exposure. I'd practice baiting edits and dodging counter shots with crouch timing. I'd look for ways to keep moving unpredictably during fights without losing aim control. And I'd spend time mastering slide peeks, ramp phase techniques, and instant retakes that let me shift my layers and confuse opponents. If you can move better than your enemy, you win before the first shot is even fired. I'd clip every death and ask, did I stand still too long? Did I wide peek without building? Did I move in a predictable path? Movement is the least practiced but most punishing thing to mess up. But when you're new, most of your bad plays come from bad decisions, not bad mechanics. That's why I'd spend way more time learning how to think about the game than just building faster. In every match, you constantly face decisions. Do I rotate early or late? Do I take this fight? Do I box up and hold height? Or drop and play for tags? If I had to start over, I'd learn to always evaluate risk versus reward. I teach myself that sometimes not fighting is the best way, that smart timing can win more fights than brute mechanics. I'd review my deaths and figure out what I made the actual mistake. Not when I died, but when I chose to engage. The most successful Fortnite players treat the game like chess. They understand probabilities, positioning, rotations, and pacing. I train my brain to stay calm and think long term. Instead of tunnel visioning, I'd ask myself, what's the best path to win this game? And most importantly, I'd stop judging myself by outcomes. Just because a play didn't work doesn't mean it was wrong. Good players make the right move and trust the process. That mindset makes you consistent. Before we go deeper, let me tell you something that would have saved me hundreds of hours when I first started playing Fortnite. I created a free community called the Flow Improvement Hub, built to help Fortnite players improve faster and smarter. Inside, you'll get resources like custom drop maps, detailed loot routes, VOD reviews, and even access to coaches and teammates who actually know what they're doing. No gatekeeping, no hidden fees, just raw improvement. If you're tired of wasting time on random advice or solo grinding with no results, this is where you need to be. The link is in the description. Go join right now, and before you forget, and while you're at it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more high-level improvement content, and comment your Fortnite rank down below. Let's get back into it. Here's the cold truth. You don't know what you don't know. That's why coaching changed everything for me. When I first got serious about Fortnite, I hit a wall because I was trying to improve without knowing what I was doing wrong. That's the danger of self-coaching. You can reinforce your own bad habits without even realizing it. If I had to restart, I'd seek out structured feedback immediately. not just watching pros and copying them, but getting direct feedback on my gameplay. That means reviewing my own VODs, recording every fight, and getting others to break down what I did right and wrong. A good coach, especially someone who knows how to teach, not just play, can point out things you'd never notice, like your mid-layer decisions, your disengaged timing, or even how you position before taking edits. This is why I built the Flow Improvement Hub. Everyone deserves a real shot at getting better, not just the kids who can't afford private coaching. If I had this when I started, I would have hit Unreal twice as fast. Another thing I do right away is fixing my settings. Most players play on default sensitivity or random binds they copied from a YouTuber. That's a mistake. If I had to start again, I'd find settings that worked for me and gave my consistent results. That means low latency, simple keybinds, and maximum visibility. I'd start with performance mode to increase FPS. I'd use colorblind settings that make my enemy skin stand out against builds. I'd test sensitivity and creative maps until I found one that let me track smoothly and edit confidently. I'd bind crouch to something I can spam mid-fight and make sure my build edit binds are spaced out for clean transitions. And let's not forget about audio. HRTF directional sound, audio visualization, and good EQ settings make a massive difference in awareness. If you can't hear a pad or a crouch walking player behind your wall, you're going to lose fights you shouldn't. Optimizing your game gives you an edge that stacks up every match. And here's something that no one tells you. Being aggressive early makes you better faster. If I had to restart, I wouldn't hide in boxes or camp endgame every match. I'd dive into hot drops, challenge strong opponents, and force myself into uncomfortable fights. The more situations you experience, the faster you learn. That doesn't mean brainless you king, it means deliberate aggression. I'd use early game fights to practice movement and building under pressure. I'd try different peak styles, different disengages, and build confidence through repetition. When you play passive, you don't build decision-making speed, you become a reactive player instead of a proactive one. If you want to become someone who controls fights, you need to take them. A lot of them. And over time, you'll build the instinct to read enemy patterns, predict edits, and punish hesitation. That only comes from testing your results. But when I first started out, I thought grinding 10 hours a day was the only way to get better. But I was so wrong. Without structure, long sessions just makes you tired. The real key is the 80-20 rule. Spend 80% of your time actively playing and fighting, but the other 20% watching VODs, analyzing games, and studying pros. I start every session with a goal. Today I'm working on piece control, or today I'm improving my rotations. Then I'd play 3 to 4 games, review one, play more, then finish the day watching a top tier player in FNCS. I'd write down what I learned. That reflection is what solidifies growth. It's not about how many games you play, it's how well you understand why you're winning or losing. That mindset prevents burnout and fuels improvement long term. But every season has a meta, and I wouldn't waste time trying to reinvent the wheel. I'd study what the best players are doing and copy their strategies until I mastered them. Then once I understood how the meta works, I'd adapt my style to it. That means learning optimal loadouts, best rotations, power POIs, and mobility usage. Trying to be different before you're consistent is a trap. Meta isn't just always about weapons, it's about positioning, timing, and utility. Once you master the fundamentals and understand the meta, then you can break it. That's where the real creativity shines. And if you're serious about improving fast and actually want to start winning more games, don't just play mindlessly. Use this roadmap, build your foundation, train with purpose, make smarter decisions, and get real feedback. And if you want help doing that, join the Flow Improvement Hub Discord. It's 100% free and packed with resources, teammates, coaches, and everything I wish I had when I was starting out. Like the video if it helped you, subscribe for more high-level Fortnite content, and use code FLOWIN, FLOWIN, in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to help support me and what I'm doing for you guys, creating this free community that you guys can help grow and help your friends grow so you guys can all become top-tier Fortnite players, or even some of you top-tier Fortnite pros. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I love you all once again, and you guys have a great rest of your guys' day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.